right, we are live.
Well, hello.
Welcome to the land of the internet, the interwebs. Yes, we are live today to talk about the WWE 2023 Royal Rumble match or Royal Rumble event. The special live event. It's not a pay-per-view anymore, is it?
It's a premium live event.
There you go. So, overall, I thought it was good, but let's start out with the what the match actually started out with. So we had, to begin the Royal Rumble, we had the actual men's Royal Rumble match, which I thought this was going to go on last.
I didn't think it would go on last, but I was very surprised it was first.
The last time I remember that happening was when they had the first women's Royal Rumble match, and I believe that was the main event that year.
I'm not sure. My mind is running away with that one. I think I remember what you were talking about, but I'm not sure.
So the men's Royal Rumble match, the first two to start out was Gunther and Sheamus. Now, spoiler alert, Gunther went on to last the longest out of anybody in a Rumble match at 70 minutes.
Yeah, he had a very good show, and I know Triple H has been high on him since he was Walter in NXT UK. And
the Ring General.
Yeah, he put on a good show. I mean, he did.
No, very good show, and it was very entertaining to see him out there. But you had Sheamus come out that lit up their feud again from Clash at the Castle. Great event. The matches they had were hard hitting. It was, I guess, Imperium versus the Brawling Brutes.
We've had that a couple of times, but it was the one match between the two of them for the Intercontinental title that was very hard hitting, and Sheamus got the standing O when he was leaving the ring after the loss.
Mm-hmm. So I see the comments. It says Facebook users. So if you're commenting, please allow StreamYard to access your Facebook page if you can. What's up, guys? Glad you guys are doing a stream. Awesome. Yeah, this was honestly one of the best WWE events. It's my favorite pay-per-view or premium live events of the year.
Yes and no. I used to really enjoy it, and I guess this goes back to my old school beginnings with the stuff. I told you my favorite part of the Royal Rumble was always the surprise entrance and bringing stuff back, and bringing certain people back that you hadn't seen in a while. And the internet's kind of ruined it.
I mean, you could stay off the internet, but I get what you're saying.
I agree. I mean, but you try to stay off and you not go to the sites where it's going to see, but then people share stuff and you see it and you're like, damn.
I'm guilty of that. I do that shit.
And so you see what I'm saying? It's like last night, I liked both matches. I thought the women's was better personally than the men's, but it was a very predictable finish. And then I'd seen it online as well, that it was weeks discussed that Rhea was going to win the women's and Cody was going to win the men's. And
yeah, I mean, I think everybody called that, and to be fair, they both deserve to win. So I can't say they booked it wrong. It's just we kind of all expected it.
Yeah, again, the non-surprise. And so I'm a big fan of Rhea. I thought that once she dropped
Mommy,
I thought that once she dropped the NXT title to Charlotte at WrestleMania a couple of years back, that they dropped the ball with her and they're finally picking it back up. So I've always said from the first time I saw her in NXT with her in-ring style and her build that she was a star in the making. So, I mean, we're getting that. Not sure who she's going to pick to face at WrestleMania. Not even sure Bianca will still have the Raw Women's title by WrestleMania.
I'm pretty sure she will.
Does she avenge her loss against Charlotte Flair for the NXT title and go for the SmackDown? But, Judgment Day is on Raw. So, it's 6 of one, half dozen of the other where they go with that in either way. As long as they put the title on her, I don't care which one she chooses. She deserves it. It's time.
Fair enough. So before we go into that, let's talk about the men's Royal Rumble and just talk about it as a whole. So we'll eventually get to the women's Royal Rumble. So I think the highlight for me, or one of the biggest things, we got to see Booker T. That was the only surprise for real. I mean, Edge came back, which was cool.
Yeah, that's setting up more stuff for them. From what I've read, the only thing with the men's Royal Rumble I didn't like, I was hoping for a surprise when Ray didn't make it out and Dominic come out with his mask. I mean, I'm sure they'll show something on Raw, SmackDown of both, of him being attacked by Dominic in the back. From everything I'm reading, it's supposed to be, kind of like, where the Kane Undertaker storyline years ago where Taker said he wouldn't fight his brother. And they built it up to where he kept getting attacked, and he finally did Kane at WrestleMania. Everything I'm reading, Ray's contract is up pretty soon, and he's supposed to be doing a career career match with Dominic at Mania, so that will fuel that storyline, which is fine. But it's like when Becky Lynch popped in the Royal Rumble a few years ago because what's her name got hurt on the way to the ring. I was expecting one more entrant, but we didn't get it. So
yeah, I mean, I'm not upset that Ray didn't enter, but yeah, if they end up doing Dominic versus Ray at WrestleMania, that will make Dominic the ultimate heel, I think, and being part of the Judgment Day. I mean, he damn sure does look more like Eddie Guerrero than he does Ray.
Who's your pappy?
Yeah, this shit's entertaining. So let's talk about the big guy in the match, Brock Lesnar. He ain't last long at all.
No, he didn't. But again, it fuels the Lashley feud. The way Lashley lost the not Intercontinental title. Damn, I can't talk today.
United States
U.S. title match on Raw last week. It sets up for whatever they're going to do with the Hurt Business. It sets up for Lashley going back heel, full-fledged heel. The rumors are Brock versus Gunther at Mania.
I don't think that's going to happen. It's probably going to be Lashley and
that's what I was thinking after last night, unless they do something, over the next couple of months to.
I mean, it was cool seeing Brock against Gunther last night, but it wasn't anything that really could have led to a feud. I mean, it was cool.
It was like a standoff you get in the Rumble every year with a couple of
different people that you wouldn't normally see. So that's cool. Let's see who else. I mean, you had Logan Paul in that Ricochet spot. What did you think of that as an old school fan?
I mean, it's a good pop for what things are today. A lot of people like Logan Paul. I'm not a big.
I was a fan of him until he went and did that shit on his podcast, and he was just an idiot.
What did he do on his podcast?
Just his best friend. He was like talking shit about his religion, and I'm like, yo, if he's your best friend, you don't talk shit about people's religion. Just let it be, man.
I to where I agree with you. Like I said, a lot of this stuff. I mean, a lot of entertainment has picked up stuff from the wrestling business, and you never know what's real and what's not. You never know what's a shoot and what's not. So, it's one of the reasons I don't listen to a lot of that stuff.
Ooh, here's a good one. Hang on. Woods and Gable wrestling popped me. Yeah, that was pretty cool.
Yeah.
What'd you think of that?
I mean, I'm a fan of Gable. I love Gable, and Austin Creed, where he said something about his name the other night on SmackDown. I kind of laughed. I've always liked Xavier Woods. I even liked him in TNA as Austin Creed, and so I've been a big fan of his. He's entertaining. He'll never be world champion.
No,
he's solid at what he does. So
no, that pure wrestling last night. I'm like, oh shit.
I mean, anybody that can pull off a small package as a finish, I'm okay with.
No, it's just you don't normally see mat to mat wrestling in professional wrestling. And I was impressed with with Woods, because Gable's an Olympian.
Oh yeah. And speaking of entertainment, entertain the millions. I will be right back.
Damn, where are you going? Okay. Well, I do want to let everybody know while he's gone, I will be on the Chris Jericho Rock and Wrestling Rager cruise here in a few days. So I'm excited for that. The main one of the things they're really advertising is Jerichohausen versus the Ass Boys, and I'm so excited for it. I fly out to Miami Wednesday morning, and we leave for the cruise Thursday morning, unfortunately. Shout out to Joe at Podcast Rock City. I'm karaoke on the cruise. No, I don't sing. I can't do karaoke to save my fucking life.
You did fine, sir. My sinuses and allergies are killing me, and I had to go get me some tissues. So for those who are listening, all around the world, if you see me blowing my nose or sneezing, I apologize. But I'm here. Damn. I'm here to entertain the masses.
I was telling them about the Jericho cruise, which shout out to Jason, because he's going to be driving me to the airport at 3 a.m.
I thought you weren't supposed to ask me for anything else.
Yeah. Inside joke, guys. Inside joke.
Anyway, where were we?
So we were talking about, let's see, the Men's Royal Rumble, the Pure Wrestling. So that was all that really went into it. Cody entered at number 30 and then went on to face Gunther in the last two. Obviously, Cody was winning that. I would have been super surprised if Gunther had went all the way in throughout the American Nightmare. But let's talk about how you feel about the American Nightmare winning the Royal Rumble and his shout out to the Elite. He threw up the hand sign and then the gun.
Yeah, I know, and that's fine. I mean, you know, despite what differences they might have had when he left, I mean, when you're working like closely with people, you know, even family, you're going to have disagreements. You know, so I don't believe about all the bad blood that's supposed to exist. It's a flipping wrestling business, man. Come on. You know, that just shows me he still cares about them. They're still tight, still talk. You know, Dustin being part of AEW, he was tweeting like crazy during the Royal Rumble last night, you know, for support for his brother. And
what if he had shown up? That would have been wild.
Well, I mean, I don't, you know, I knew it was whatever, but I saw that reports of Chris Jericho's in San Antonio. I'm like, yeah, okay, just stop.
Yeah, I mean, I would like to see more Forbidden Door. Well, at least one Forbidden Door, but it would not have been Jericho.
And well, I mean, honestly, when you think about AEW, what bigger name that to go along with WWE that's can be synonymous with both would have been a better choice than Jericho, because he would have got you got to stop and remember, you know, and I tell you this all the time because I know you like AEW, and it's not me shitting on AEW because I'm glad it exists, but at the end of the day, a lot of the casual WWE fans don't know who half those guys are. And so you got to stop and think when you're doing Forbidden Door stuff, you know, that's what wrestling is missing a lot of rating wise is the casual fan they used to be able to attract when, you know, The Rock, Steve Austin, Goldberg, Hogan was on the cover of TV Guide. And, you know, they're constantly on the late night shows like Roman was on Jimmy Fallon the other night. You know, you don't see a lot of that anymore, and they're not attracting that casual wrestling fan. But a lot of WWE fans do not watch AEW, and a lot of the hardcore AEW fans don't watch WWE. So if you're going to have a Forbidden Door entrant to make it worthwhile and to make the higher ups want to do it again per se, you got to get a pop out of it. Does that make sense?
I was hoping for John Moxley. Yeah.
What would they call him?
I mean, Seth called him Mox a couple months back.
Yeah, I remember that. But, you know, that's also Seth. And, you know, it's not a big drawn out thing. But if he pops up on TV,
I feel like you have to call him Mox.
Yeah.
I mean, you don't necessarily have to. I mean,
this is a WWE that put yellow polka dots on a former NWA world champion. So, man, they don't have to do anything. They all. I know Triple H has gone a different direction than Vince went and doing a lot of stuff that people actually like, but it's still, at the end of the day, it's still WWE, and they're going to do what the hell they want to do.
Yep. We'll see for how much longer. But so Cody wins the Rumble. He's going to be facing Roman at Mania. I don't know if it's going to be for both belts, but it's going to be for at least one belt.
Can I just shit on this for a minute?
You can, but I can't say I'm going to agree with you.
No, and this is. I was very underwhelmed with the men's Rumble last night. First off, like I said, it was a foregone conclusion that Cody was going to win, and that's fine. I don't have an issue with that. But in my oh so humble opinion, again, guys, it's wrestling. It's just my opinion. Gunther came across as the star. It was a very underwhelming victory for Cody
because he came out at 30. I agree with that. I wish he came out at like 27.
I'm happy for Cody. I'm glad he's going back to get a chance to do what he didn't do the first time around. But there just wasn't a lot of, you know, it just came off very underwhelming to me. I mean, like I said, Gunther came across as the one they were trying to make a star out of last night. And, you know, again, when Cody won, it wasn't that big of a pop. It was just like, yeah, we knew that was going to happen. And
no, I agree.
And you know, it's not shitting on Cody. It's like you said, when they brought him out at 30, I'm like, okay, is he still hurt? Can he not go? You know, is that why? And then, you know, with Gunther putting in those chops across him, I'm like, well, okay, I guess his pec is healed fine. But, you know, I just think they could have done a better job of trying to make Cody. I mean,
I agree with this comment. Sami not being in the Rumble benefited Cody too.
It did. It did.
Yes, it did. Sami's the hottest thing they have.
I agree wholeheartedly, and we'll get to that in a little bit. But here's my thing on it. You know, ever since Cody came back, and years ago, they would not put it in somebody's contract. They're going to put the belt on you, because that wasn't. They would say, we will give you an opportunity to get yourself over, and if you can put yourself in that position, we don't have a problem with it. You got an opportunity. Now, guys, put it in their damn contracts. You know, I want to run with a title. And I'm sure that was part of Cody's negotiations, and they don't have an issue with it. And the best way I can describe it to me is they have put Roman on such a pedestal, like him or not. You don't have to like his in-ring work. I'm not saying he's the greatest thing since sliced bread, but they have put him on a pedestal. He comes across as a star. He looks like a star. No, he's not Chad Gable wrestling wise in the ring. No, he's not the performer that Shawn Michaels was, or
better than Hogan, though.
Well, I think I could have went out there and actually, in Hogan's defense, if you go watch some of the early Japan stuff, Hogan could actually do a few things that they never showcased in WWE. Hogan could have a Japanese style match back in the day, nor here nor there. But Roman comes across as a star. They have put him on such a pedestal and let him run through everybody. And we'll talk about the main event more later. But I mean, Kevin had a couple of good moments in that match, but I mean, Roman still came across as strong as death. And,
there was no believable opportunity that Kevin was going to beat Roman.
Nobody thought going into the match that he had an opportunity, he was going to do it anyway. I mean, because of the WrestleMania, the Rock rumors, the Cody stuff. But the best way I know how to put it is the way they did it with Cody, even though it was predictable and we knew he was going to win, they didn't make him out to be a big enough star to make it believable that he's going to be able to beat Roman Reigns, in my opinion. I mean,
well, they have a few months to build that up, so we'll see.
They do, but who do you put Cody in the ring with?
I mean, to be fair, though, let's be honest. Who was the last person that took Roman to his limit? Well, no, not the last person, but the last time he didn't beat somebody, Seth Rollins at the last year's Royal Rumble, right?
Yep. No, that was it.
How many times has Cody beat Seth Rollins where Roman couldn't?
And that's a fair point. And they might put that up there. They might not.
Because Cody has beat Seth consistently when Roman couldn't. So that's my argument. It's like, yeah, they have a lot of work to do with Cody, but they've laid the groundwork with him.
Yeah, but again, I'm specifically talking about the way they did it last night.
Oh, no. Last night, I agree with you. I don't think he should have came out at number 30. If he had came out at number 1 instead of Gunther in one, yeah, that would have been a star-making performance. Number 30 is like, you came out at 30. You're the freshest man. When Gunther was in the ring with Cody, you did not believe that Gunther could beat Cody.
No,
it's just okay, he came out at number 1. There's no way. If you want to be believable, there is no way.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying. It's just like, to me, I'm happy for Cody. I've always liked Cody. I've liked Cody. I
hate
Cody.
His tattoo.
Oh, well, that's whatever. It's not something I'd get, but not my body, not my choice. But again, to me, in my opinion, the one that came out looking like roses last night was Gunther, even though that Cody won. It was, we know he's going to WrestleMania. I just don't think they did enough last night. I mean, the way they let Brock run through people, the times that Brock has won the Royal Rumble, it's like, okay, yeah, it's always believable the way they push Brock that he can beat anybody anytime he wants.
Yeah.
And
of course,
so I hope in the next couple of months they build Cody up. And, I'd forgotten about the Seth Rollins thing, hopefully bring it up, and I don't know if they're going to have another match with him and Seth before the Rumble.
Jesus Christ, I hope not. I'm done with it.
Well, it's been 9 months, 6 months.
Yeah, he beat him with his pectoral muscle completely torn.
Yeah,
There's no point. There's nothing else they need to do with that. We're done.
But again, who's a bigger star on the roster to get him believable to go against Roman Reigns?
No, I agree. I think that, you have to put Cody up against stars, Seth Rollins. I mean, even Gunther at this point, because Gunther might be pissed, be like, yo, you were number 30. I was number 1. Like, have that happen.
Let me put it to you the way that I look at Roman Reigns. If some tag team goes out there and beats the Usos for the tag titles, it's believable because, whether it's been Solo, whether it's been Sami, they've been getting outside interference. They've been getting help, yeah, Roman's has some help here and there, outside the Clash at the Castle, but that was also done first off to add Solo to the bloodline and to make Drew look good in front of, the people,
his crowd.
Yeah, his crowd. So there's different ways, but for the most part, through this historic title run of Roman, he goes out there and he just beats people, puts them to sleep, puts them down with a spear. Like I said, Solo, he's had help in some matches, even though they're trying to get him over with the spike and stuff like that. So it's believable for them to go out there and get beat. They're going to, whether it's Cody or anybody else, you can't have an 800+ day title run and not build up the next guy properly. And I'll go back to Hogan and the Warrior. If you ever go back and watch that match from WrestleMania 6, when Hogan lost and he's pointing at the Warrior, trying to get the Warrior over, instead of watching the new champion with the fireworks going off in the ring, people are watching Hogan leave the ring. You don't want another situation like that. That's why Warrior flopped as champion. He had his core supporters and, the kids that love the Warrior and stuff like that. But, they hadn't done enough with him, to let him be the guy to take the title off Hogan. But again, if you go back to the way they built Hogan, who else had they built up to put in that spot? So I don't fault the Warrior for that, because Hogan was taking some time off for movies and stuff like that. But, it's the best analogy I can give you. They put Roman on such a pedestal, and I think I love the bloodline storyline. It's getting, that's why I keep telling you, I hope they'll bring Naomi, or maybe with Nia coming back in, to add another element to it, to where it's not stale and it gives you something else to go on. But, they put Roman on such a pedestal. To me, they backed themselves in a corner with it. And, it's like, who the hell,
I mean, that's something they never did with Cena, though, which is.
Well, I mean, Cena, no, they never put, Cena didn't go out there and just crush people the way Roman has.
Yeah, he put on competitive matches.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I said. I think that, as good as a storyline has been over the past couple of years with its ups and downs, I think they backed themselves into a corner. It's not a knock on Cody. It's not a knock on anybody else. It's like, as a company, you did this, so you need to be able to Roman probably wants some time off. He's probably ready to drop the title. But
titles,
you get what but I hope you get my point with it. It's not a knocking Cody thing. It's a, it was an underwhelming Rumble, and it's not Cody's fault. It's the
position they put him in, the number that he entered at, and then having Gunther go all the way.
It reminds me of when Ray come in at 30 and everybody was wanting Bryan Danielson. And Ray
booed the shit out of him.
Oh my God, it was awful. I don't know if you ever heard Steve Austin's podcast about that, but man, when they did that, he was funny. He's like, man, why you do that to Ray? Everybody loves Ray. You put a heel in that position. You don't put Ray in that position. I was laughing. It was funny to listen to, because he just kept on for 5 minutes. Why you do that to Ray?
I mean, it's fair. So yeah, they have a lot of work to do with Cody from now until Mania. Well, let's talk about the next match on the show. Bray Wyatt versus LA Knight in the Mountain Dew Pitch Black match.
It was better than the cockroach match that he had with Randy Orton at Mania. I'll say that for it.
Yeah, it was good for what it was. I don't know how much Mountain Dew paid WWE to have that match. Probably a lot. If we're being honest.
It was pretty expected what happened. I mean, Bray's not, Bray's a storyteller. He's not great in the ring. You're not going to get a 5-star match out of Bray Wyatt. And, I think LA Knight came off with his feud, showing how good he can actually be on the microphone. And I hope they use this to propel him to the next thing and not just get lost in the shuffle.
LA Knight is a star. He should be in the main event, honestly. He will be an eventual main eventer if they book him right.
I hope so. I like to say he's entertaining on the mic, and he makes you want to strangle him with all his little catchphrases.
Yeah,
that's part of the gimmick. It's like the people that hate Austin Theory and Seth Rollins. It's like, well, if you hate them that bad, they're doing their job right.
Yep.
So I hope LA Knight moves on to better things now. And I don't know where you really go with Bray from here. It was a lot more storytelling, so that's going to be where it goes, because everybody expected to see the Fiend last night, but we got a new mask, and then you got Uncle Howdy.
It was face paint, though, right?
At first it was, and then after the match was over is when he put the mask on.
Interesting. Let me pull up this comment real quick. It says Bray Wyatt is a spectacle. I agree with that. Bray's not your average wrestler. Yeah. He's your Undertaker. He's your new Undertaker, essentially.
He's an attraction. I mean, that's what he is. The Undertaker has, the only time the Undertaker wasn't really an attraction was when he was doing the American Badass gimmick. He kind of, it kind of brought him back into one of the boys. I mean, yes, he was still the Undertaker and a main event player, but he wasn't the attraction. He was just a star. And, everybody that has issues with, the people that go away and come back. I mean, I had no issue when the Undertaker was doing only 1 or 2 matches a year because, again, he's an attraction.
Yep, and it makes sense.
Yep. And I love hearing him talk. Now that he's out of character, I love hearing him talk because, there's a couple of different matches he brought up. Somebody asked him about the entrance. I forgot what interview he was doing, but, he brought up wrestling the Giant Gonzalez, and he brought up wrestling a couple of people, and he was like, I knew when the bell rang, the match was going to be shit because they couldn't do anything. He goes, so yeah, I'd milk that entrance for 7, 8, 10 minutes if I could, because I knew that was the best part of the night.
Fair enough.
But again, Bray's an attraction. You can get a decent match out of him, but you're not going to get
Ricochet versus Will Ospreay.
No, you're not. And it's like, you put him out there and you got to watch who you put him against. You can't go put him against Cody because Cody cannot take an L right now. But on the flip side, Bray should not be taking an L. I mean,
no, and they're both faces, so it doesn't make sense.
Well, we're not really sure what they're doing with Bray right now. But I mean, no, he doesn't need to be out there on TV wrestling every week. And the stuff they did last night will further the storyline. I mean, Uncle Howdy missing LA Knight by 2 foot, but it's whatever. So, but again, it was better than the cockroach match with Randy Orton, but it was kind of what you expected. I did like the glow in the dark paint though. That was pretty cool.
That was cool. So let's go on to the next match because that one, it is what it is. It was a decent match for what it was, but the next match was Bianca Belair versus Alexa Bliss, which is a pretty good damn match for the Raw Women's Championship.
I'm glad you liked it because I didn't.
You didn't like it?
No.
Yeah, I think they're telling a good story with Alexa and the whole Uncle Howdy.
The story, yeah, but the match itself was not that great.
I thought it was pretty good.
There was that botch spot toward the end before the KOD. And I didn't like the way they did it, because they just, I missed the storytelling that goes for a long time. And, Alexa come out there and just beat the ever-loving dog shit out of her a couple of weeks ago and they made Alexa look strong. And
as hell.
And, the Uncle Howdy stuff, that's fine. I didn't want another DQ like their first go around on Raw, but, maybe a distraction from Bray or Uncle Howdy, maybe, something where Bianca got a quick roll up. I'm not saying put the title on her, but you just had her to lay down flat, and that just takes the credibility away.
Yeah, I mean, it was okay match. We'll see what happens. I think they're going to expand this story with Bliss. So yeah, but let's go to the next match, which was probably the best match of the night, which is the Women's Royal Rumble match. You had Rhea Ripley enter at number 1, Liv Morgan at number 2. Ripley went all the way and won. I mean, there was a few surprises in this match, but not. Huh?
She always has been since I saw her day one, is a star. And
really? Yeah.
And I'm glad they're getting back on track with her. I mean, the whole stuff with Dominic's been entertaining, but take the Judgment Day out of the equation. Rhea is a star on her own. She does not need. In my opinion, and it's my opinion, she has been the one carrying Judgment Day. Since
it was supposed to be Finn, but Dominic and Rhea are the most over. Well, I wonder how the mommy merchandises are selling.
That Dominic heel shit to me is just funny as can be. I mean, he goes in there,
this motherfucker came out with a teardrop, a tattooed teardrop.
And the stuff with the announcers is just what's the dude's name on Raw? Kevin Patrick, is that the guy's name?
I think so.
But he's talking about being in prison and this, that, and the other, and he's like, he spent 3 hours in county lockup. And you got Corey Graves. Do you know what that's like? I mean, it's funny. I mean, that's the entertainment side of it. I mean,
speaking of announcers,
yeah, we'll get there in a second. And depending on how you look at it, I mean, you've got Ray, who's been a babyface his entire career.
Was he ever a heel in WCW?
No. I mean, he did the filthy animal stuff, but they were over with the crowd, and I'd have to go back and watch to see who all they fought. But no, he's always been a babyface. And but you go back to certain things, and Ray's a legend. 5 foot nothing and 120 pounds, but he's still a legend. And you got his son out there just playing probably the best chicken shit heel they got on TV.
Mm-hmm.
And I never thought I'd see it because I did not like Dom when he first started wrestling with Ray as a tag team. I was like,
Dom
really?
Dom?
Like, really? Again?
Jesus.
But I will say, the boy's getting so much TV time. I wish he'd get in the gym and work out some so he could take the shirt off.
Yeah, he does look like you need to add some muscle. But your boy came back last night.
He did. I've been tweeting him for 2 weeks, man. College season's over. Get your ass back. Because I mean, I like Wade Barrett, but I think Wade Barrett's better as an NXT commentator, especially with all the international talent that NXT. You know, yes, there's international talent on the main roster, but there's a lot more on the NXT brand. And you know, Pat McAfee he's fun to listen to.
He was great. I loved him. So he's back.
I really did think at some point we were going to get like a Michael Cole, Jerry Lawler moment in the Royal Rumble, and McAfee's music hit again, and then jump over the announce table and go in there and get in the Rumble. But we didn't see it, so
yeah, I would have liked to have seen him versus Logan Paul. That would have been entertaining. But so the Women's Royal Rumble match, I think the highlights of this was definitely Rhea Ripley. That was a star-making performance. Not that she wasn't a star before, but definitely going all the way. That puts you on another level. We had the return of Chelsea Green. That one I didn't like. She got thrown out immediately. And then we had two other returns. Piper Niven, who was Dewdrop.
I'm glad they changed her name back.
Thank God. And then we had your girl returning, the one and only Nia Jax.
Well, you know, see, there's a lot of stuff that they did in the Women's Royal Rumble that, you know, you don't have to like it, but it just made sense. You know, Nia gets in there talking all her shit, and she looked big as ever. Looked like she'd been eating the whole time she was gone. But, you know, she got in there talking her shit, and they all went at her. And, you know, in like an Andre fashion, she threw them all off. But then to get her out, it took 11 or 12 of them to throw her big ass out of the ring. So it did not make her look weak in her return like it did, Rhea throwing Chelsea out within 3 seconds, 5 seconds, whatever it was. I mean, Nia came in, she looked strong. She threw the pack off of her, did a couple of things, and then they ganged back up on her and they rolled her big ass out the ring. I mean, you get what I'm saying?
Yeah, no, she looked okay. I'm not a big fan of Nia, so I'm not gonna say I'm glad she's back, but it is what it is.
I would have rather seen Naomi than Nia. Actually, let me rephrase it. I've told you this. I don't know if I've ever said it on here. I don't want to see Naomi. I want to see Trinity Fatu. That's what I want to see. The glow gimmick has gone. It's past its prime. It's whatever you want to call it. It's ran its course. And, you know, she's good enough in the ring that if you bring her back with the bloodline storyline as Trinity Fatu and a badass, you know, and have her come back with an attitude over what happened, you know, told you that before. Bring her back, put them with them. And, you know, she could.
Does she use the rear view as a finisher?
No, you give her something else. You know, because Asuka uses that as the hip attack, whatever. I mean, no, I mean, you come back and if you did her character right, you know, you could turn her into a legit badass and as a challenger for Bianca or Charlotte or whoever's got the title on them. But the glow stuff just does not go with the bloodline storyline. And you can't just have her pop back up by herself because then it's just going to be like a popcorn fart. Nobody's going to care.
Mm-hmm. So Rhea Ripley went all the way to win this match, which, you know, that was, as we said, predictable. Yep. So I'm happy with both of them winning the Rumble, Cody and Rhea, but we'll see how they build it up to Mania.
But now let's talk. You go back to it though. I mean, even if it wasn't leaked all over the internet that Rhea was going to win, the stuff they've been doing with Rhea. I mean,
she's been beating the shit out of the guys. It wouldn't make sense for her not to win.
That's what I was getting her to say. You know, she body slammed a 320-pound Doc Gallows, and you know the other stuff.
Big LG.
Yeah, being stuff that she's doing with the men, and then you're going to send out 5'2", 120-pound Liv Morgan. Why wouldn't she be able to just ragdoll her over the top rope if she can pick up Luke Gallows? Mm-hmm. I mean, so there was no other, in my opinion, no other woman that should have won that Rumble last night with the stuff they've done with Rhea.
Nope. So good on you, WWE, for getting that right. But now let's go to the main event, which was Roman Reigns versus Kevin Owens for the WWE Undisputed Universal Championship. They got to figure out another name for this title.
I would be
Too
so
long.
I would be so content just to. I mean, I know why they did they got rid of the world title and brought in the universal title because of the whole WWE universe stuff. Um, I was thinking maybe that might have been something that Triple H replaced when he took over, and it still might be depending on who buys it, if somebody buys it, if he say if you never know what's going to happen. But I would be so happy with just a WWE World Heavyweight Champion the way it used to be. Because again, I told you I don't want them to split the titles up. At first, I did, and I get why they wanted the world champion back on Raw. But the way they have elevated the Intercontinental and U.S. championships, I think if you put a world title back on both shows,
it's just going to diminish them.
It will, and so that's my opinion on that. But I mean, this storytelling for this, I mean, you don't have to like the Bloodline. You're not supposed to like the Bloodline.
A lot of people like the Bloodline, though.
Well,
they like Sami.
Well, that's what I'm getting to. I mean, it's been storytelling. I mean, this has been a story since Roman won these titles. I mean, you look, it's been storyline after storyline. First it was Jay, and he couldn't make Jay quit, and then it was Jimmy coming back, and the only thing that made Jay say I quit was him, getting ready to hurt Jay again. I mean, sorry, hurt Jimmy again. And then they got together, and then they, bring Solo in. The stuff with Lesnar and Heyman, whether he's going to stay with Lesnar or stay with Roman. I mean, it's been story after story. You bring Sami in, who gave him a whole nother kind of
dynamic,
comedic dynamic because he's Sami Zayn, but also a serious side to it. I mean, he in my opinion, he made the War Games match. And they made Sami look good in the War Games match. He served his best friend up to the Bloodline as like, okay, I'm with you. And the whole stuff with him and Jay not liking each other, Jay not liking him, and now Jay being in his corner. I mean, this has just been tremendous storytelling all the way around. You don't have to like it, but again,
it's probably the best thing in wrestling in a long time.
That's me. They're like I said, as far as entertainment goes, the Usos should have been tag team of the year. I think, as far as pure wrestling goes, that goes to me hands down FTR. But, the storytelling, the entertainment value of it. I mean, for a long time, we've always said wrestling was a male soap opera. Well, this is, that's why I don't like the spot fest, because it takes the soap opera part out of it. And
I love the spot fest. It's fun.
But you get what I'm saying. It's like last night, it didn't go off the air with, Roman putting Kevin through a table or whatever, and he just won the match. It ended with Jay walking off and not attacking Sami with the rest of the Bloodline. And now people are like, I can't wait for Raw. And if he's not on Raw, I can't wait till SmackDown to see what's going on with Jey Uso and see what Sami and Kevin say. It's the cliffhanger that the spot fest.
It has you coming back wanting more.
Absolutely. And
that's what wrestling needs to be.
The only thing that I did not they went a different way with it. And you and I talked about it. They could go two different ways with it, but I expected the Bloodline to turn on Sami, and Sami wound up knocking the shit out of Roman with the chair. And it's like, oh, we're going this way with it, huh? Sami standing up, and Sami's always kind of had the cowardice character and people around him. When he had Cesaro and Shinsuke with him and stuff like that. And they had Sami, Sami stepping up and being the one that said, I've had enough of your ass, not the other way around, which is what a lot of people expected it to be.
Yep. So we'll see what happens with that. Overall, the Roman Kevin match was nothing great. It wasn't like match of the year. It was decent for what it was, but really where the highlight of the night with that whole thing was after the match when they beat the shit out of Kevin, handcuffed him. Roman goes to hit him with the chair. Sami's like, my tribal chief, you're above this. And he goes, you're right. You do it. And Sami hit Roman. So I'm interested to see where this takes Sami to Mania. I've heard rumors it's going to lead to a tag match between Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn versus the Usos for the tag titles. We'll see.
Yeah, that's been speculated for the last 3 or 4 months. And, but if The Rock doesn't come back, which is pretty much, said he's not.
But it's Mania season, so we'll see.
Yeah, but let's just say for shits and giggles, he doesn't. And this goes back to the men's Royal Rumble. the fan base right now, and it's not a knock on Cody. I don't want anybody to think I'm knocking Cody, but like I said, they put themselves against the wall.
That front door.
They put their backs against the wall with the storyline. Yeah, people are like, "Yay, Cody won the Royal Rumble." That's not what we want to see. We want to see Sami versus Roman.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's what a lot of people want to see at this point. So we'll have to wait and see if see if that happens. Someone in the comments said Sammy got his flowers. I mean it's all storytelling, man, and the story Sammy's been telling, it's been the best. The bloodline story is great.
Well, like I said, and they're furthering the character development of Sami Zayn, because again, Kevin's always been the fighter. Even as a heel, Kevin did not back down from stuff. And Sammy's always been the chicken shit heel, coward to run away from stuff. I think he had that little teeny tiny baby face run on NXT and when he first came up, but for the most part, he's always been a heel, and he plays away. He plays a good one. He runs away. He's a coward. He cheats to win when he was Intercontinental Champion. That's always been his character, and they're furthering his character along with actually growing a set of balls and standing up to not just somebody, but to a guy that hadn't, that's held titles for 840 plus days. And again, that's what I go back to. It's kind of, I wanted to wait till we got here for the main event. It's like, no, I'm happy for Cody, and, for his family legacy, I'd love to see him have a run with one of the titles. I would rather see him have a run with the WWE Championship, because it goes back to his lineage with Dusty. Dusty wasn't around for the Universal title. So my preference would be to see Cody with the WWE title, and maybe even do like he did with the Intercontinental title and bring back one of the older ones, whether it's the Winged Eagle or, just something to give it a little kick in the ass. But right now, the way they've told this story and the way they did things, the Royal Rumble was very underwhelming, and nobody's wanting to see Cody versus Roman. They want to see Sami.
Yep, and it's going to be something that they're going to have to build up over time, up until Mania, and if they drop the ball, then they're going to really fuck up with it. But overall, what would you rate the Royal Rumble premium live event? 1 out of 10.
Oh, we're not doing the 5-star system?
I mean, we could do 5 stars. Sure.
3.5, 4.
Yeah, I agree with that. 3.5, 4. I thought it was a good.
And the reason I rate it that high, where it's at,
the Women's Royal Rumble
and the main event. Again, the Bray Wyatt stuff, it's an attraction. It's not a match to me. It's very, for the story they've been telling with him in LA Knight, I don't think it really delivered. And I think I want better for Bray this time around.
Please God.
Like I said, the Men's Royal Rumble, there was nothing wrong with it. It was just underwhelming, in my opinion. The payoff was what everybody expected, and it was just like the crowd was flat for it. The women's, like I said, the women's title match, I was not thrilled with. Because it goes back to certain things, like, when I don't care if you got the heel or the baby face going over, but if you want to continue the storyline, it's like why you don't want to see Seth and Cody again. I mean,
been there, done that.
Well, not only been there, done that, but if their last match, if Cody had to, tie Seth down or whatever, and he didn't beat him clean in the middle of the ring, then Seth would have a gripe. But that's why you don't want to see it again, because there's nothing. It's like, why we're doing this again? I mean,
yeah, especially after he beat him with a torn pectoral muscle.
So
it doesn't make sense.
So now if you want to continue the Alexa Bray Wyatt angle now without Bianca, then that's fine. But if you want to continue Bianca and Alexa, it's like Bianca's got every girl, I'm done with you. I pinned you in the middle of the ring last night and your demons. Get away from me. I'm moving on to bigger and better things.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the thing in wrestling, that when somebody says something, you don't want to go. It's like, as Flair as the heel champion, when he would come out there and talk about how he beat this person and he beat that person, the fans are going, no, you didn't. The Horseman helped you. Your feet were on the ropes. You did this. You did that. It made sense to give Dusty another match. It made sense to give Steamboat another. You see where I'm going with that?
Yeah. At this point, there's no point.
Yeah, there's not. Match. Bianca, they would have cheered her, but, if with a distraction from Bray or Uncle Howdy, or if Bianca would have rolled the, used the tights, had help from somebody, whoever. It's just they didn't leave that door open for a believable, Bianca beat her with her, beat her with her finish flat in the middle of the ring. So take your ass on. Let me get to the next one. Whether that's Bailey, whether it's Becky or whoever. I mean, it's Becky's got a gripe. She comes out there. She's beaten Bianca. Bianca's beaten her. I mean, you can. Well, we go back and forth. You never know who's going to win between the two of us. But she's also beaten Bailey a couple of times. So I don't want to see that again. It's like you gotta leave the door open for people to care about it. And at this point, I would not care about Alexa versus Bianca again.
Not unless they do something to her character with the whole Bray Wyatt thing to make her into a monster.
When Alexa lost her Fruit Loops and beat the shit out of Bianca and got disqualified, you're like, wow, because I mean they hadn't really done that to Bianca. Bianca hadn't been put down like that. You wanted
except for Becky at SummerSlam when she beat her in 8 seconds.
Yeah, but that was a shock value, whatever. But they've really not let Bianca be manhandled. Even when she got beaten 8 seconds, she was able to pop right back up and go, oh my God, what the hell just happened?
Yep.
She had to be helped out of the arena. They had not done that to Bianca yet. And to have that happen and just have her go out there and beat Alexa flat, it just, okay, well, on to the next.
Yeah, like I said, the only way I'd be interested in seeing another match between them is if they turn Alexa into a monster with this whole Bray Wyatt, Uncle Howdy storyline. So we'll have to wait and see. But overall, Royal Rumble, good event.
I always enjoy the Rumble, whether I'm always excited for it. And some deliver, some don't.
But it's always fun.
Oh yeah, always fun. So it's like I said, the company has some work to do with Cody Rhodes to yes, he's Cody Rhodes, but you can't rest on those laurels. You're going to have to do something to build him up to make it believable for him to go in there and beat Roman at WrestleMania.
Mm-hmm. Yep. No, I totally agree. So I do want to say that next week there will not be a live stream unless you want to live stream with someone else, because I will be on the Chris Jericho Cruise Rockin' Wrestling Rager at Sea.
Don't forget your Dramamine. I don't want you to get I don't want you to get seasick.
Hey, I already got it. I'm good. I got it when I got my sandals yesterday.
You're good. We didn't say anything at the top of the thing when we started this today, but we haven't been on here since the passing of Jay Briscoe. And I was glad to see Mark was finally able to appear on AEW television. It was a very emotional match with him and Jay Lethal. Jay Lethal was in tears before Mark ever got to the ring. There's been a lot of talk about Jay Briscoe over the years because of a tweet he made 10 years ago that he's apologized for.
Profusely.
Many, many times over. But despite the character he played on TV, whether he was a babyface or a heel, everything that you hear about him says what a good man, what a good husband, what a good father, what a good son he was. How both of them turned down a lot of different money deals and appearances because they had work to do on the farm. I mean, a lot of what you saw on TV was actually a lot of who the Briscoes were. Turned up, of course, just like everybody else that made it in this business. But thoughts and prayers go out to his family. I know his children are still recovering. By the grace of God, they did survive that car wreck. And, I was hoping the Briscoes would, eventually be able to appear with AEW and they could get that stuff with Time Warner wrapped up or whatever, go take a sensitivity class, whatever they would have to have done to get the okay to move forward. But that wasn't in the cards for Jay. And, I wish Mark the best in his, I guess singles career now, and in life in general. And my heart goes out to his family and, rest in peace, Jay Briscoe.
Yeah, it was a shock to hear. I didn't believe it at first. Definitely sad, but definitely a great moment between Mark Briscoe and Jay Lethal when they wrestled in the main event of Dynamite. Mark came out with both sets of tag titles with both tag team belts. So
if you want to know how to make a grown man cry, go watch that match from start to finish.
Yeah.
So I know that kind of ended on a somber note, but I thought we owed it to to his legacy too. Not that we're anybody in the world of professional wrestling.
No.
but you know, to mention it because again, it's just sad times, and you know, you got 3 children now that are gonna finish growing up without their dad, and you know, he was coming back from taking his girls to cheerleading. A dad, you know, his wife was at home with the son. I mean, that should tell you all you need to know about him because a lot of dads don't do that kind of stuff.
Yeah. But again, guys, I don't. Jason, do you plan on doing a stream next week? Because I will be in. Will I be in the Bahamas? I don't know if I'll be in the Bahamas or Miami by then.
No, this is our thing, man. I ain't gonna replace you, bro.
You could replace me for one episode if you wanted, or do it by yourself. It's up to you. All
Right.
good. I ain't stressing it. But I will have a lot of stories next time I'm on here from the Chris Jericho cruise.
Try to get some interviews while you're there.
I am. I bought these 2 little lapel mics that plug into my phone, so we will see. Maybe your boy will get an interview with the one and only Y2J, Demo God, Les Champion, the Ocho. What the fuck else is he doing? Lionheart, Chris Jericho.
Well, I will say this too. I know you won't have any kind of service, but you know, he is Chris Jericho. It's his cruise, so I'm sure he'll have access to some kind of internet while he's there. So every day that you're there, I'll make sure I tweet his ass to go find you and give you an interview. Not that I'm anybody to make him do something, but you know.
Yeah. Oh, Painmaker. Somebody said Painmaker. Yes, you are correct. Painmaker.
I've got that figure back here.
I do too. I got the Lionheart. I got the Painmaker. I got a Christian Cage figure. I got some other figures. I got a Chase Brian Danielson figure. Thank you very much.
You know how you order stuff and forget you ordered it?
Sometimes.
Yeah, well, you know, I get little emails coming in saying what mail's coming for the day. And I said, I had a package coming. I'm like, the hell did I order now? But then I remembered when I opened them. See, look, it's the stunning Steve Austin with the NWA World Television title. And like I said, again, I pre-ordered these like 3 months ago, forgot all about it. And then see, this will date this for you. The only masked wrestler in the world, in history, the only masked wrestler in history that nobody ever was able to find out his identity. To this day, we don't know who this man is. Do you know who I'm talking about?
John Cena.
Mr. America. His identity is still a mystery.
Is that a Hulk Hogan head?
Yes.
They did not. Wow, they took away the mystique. I hate them. I hate them. Wow, they suck.
That was my fault. I should have covered up the Hulk Hogan head.
Yeah, that was your fault on you. But hey, guys, we're going to head out. Again, no new show next week, but the following week we will review. Well, I guess you can ask me questions about Chris Jericho's Rock and Wrestling Rager at Sea.
Oh, yeah, at sea. I thought you were getting ready to spit out your social media. I'm like, oh, no, he's just been at sea. Never mind.
Yeah. No. Sorry. My social medias are at The Real Chris Ace. I'm thinking about changing my TikTok name to at Mr. Wrestle Talk.
Oh, good Lord.
I don't know. Mr. WrestleMania, Mr. Wrestle Talk. I mean, it makes sense, but I don't know if I should do it.
Yeah, I'm going to film a couple of those little small things today with all these figures I have in here.
Yeah, TikTok's the way to go. I love TikTok. I love being stupid.
Yeah,
it's my favorite.
It's like all this crap I got in here. I got some. I don't know if you can see it behind me, but I got some in the floor because I'm doing some rearranging. I wound up getting too many women, so now they gotta get their own shelf.
Well, damn. Have fun figuring that out. I don't have much.
No pun intended, right?
Yeah. But all right, guys, we appreciate you checking out the show. Again, I am at The Real Chris Ace everywhere. Instagram, Twitter, TikTok. Please go follow me on TikTok. I'm very active on TikTok. Did I mention I have a TikTok?
Did he mention follow you on TikTok?
Yeah.
Well, in case you forgot, you mentioned to follow your TikTok account. What is your TikTok account?
At The Real Chris Ace.
Yeah, see, there you go. Say, well, look, even though you won't have any internet, you'll have your phone, you can plug it up, and you can take a lot of videos next week to throw some TikToks out there once you get back to civilization.
Yeah, once I'm not at sea. I hope I don't get seasick, but we will see. Do you want to tell them your social so they can see you tweeting at Chris Jericho to give me an interview?
At J Brandon Ingram on the Twitter and on the Twitter machine, yes, and Instagram, all that happy stuff. But yeah, when you're at sea, to keep from getting seasick, don't drink too much of the bubbly.
I'm probably gonna get fucked up. I ain't gonna lie. I don't sugarcoat shit. I'm gonna get fucked up. I don't care. It's gonna be fun. I'm gonna have a good time. Yeah,
Well,
pretty much.
As much money as it costs you, I hope you have a good time.
Yeah, that was a lot of money, which I didn't have, but no one said I'm financially responsible.
It's like me. I agree. It's like I told you, the package came. I'm like, the hell did I order now? So,
yeah. So we are out, and we will be back in 2 weeks from today.
Yes.
See you later, guys.
Catch us on social media, and hey, don't forget, we forgot to mention he's got a TikTok account. Go follow it.
Mm-hmm.
We're out.